afternoon. I wanted to take this opportunity to give you an update on the golf course master planning process. Some have asked, why are we doing this? And what are the problems out on the golf course? The golf course is 25 years old and many of the original features need to be restored to ensure the most desirable golf experience for years to come. The golf course master planning process began back in 2016 with a recommendation from the Green Committee to the Board of Directors. The goal with the plan is to restore and enhance the most valuable asset here, along with focusing on the immediate concerns such as drainage, the size of our greens, teeing options, and bunker improvements. To assist with developing the restoration plan, the club engaged the successors to our original architect firm, Hills and Forest Associates. The club has consulted over the years with the original designers for any modifications, and this move continues a tradition. After engaging Hills Forest Associates in 2017, our lead architect, Steve Forrest, and his team visited the course throughout the past year to see the golf course firsthand. Along the way, the architect shared his recommendations with the Golf Course Master Planning Committee, which was established by the Green Committee back in 2017. In addition to several meetings, the committee has met 6 times this year alone to review the architect's recommendations as well as those of our superintendent. It is this point in the process, all components of the golf course recommendations from the architect are still being reviewed by the committee, management, and our superintendent. I just want to stress that again, that all components of the golf course recommendations from the architect are still being reviewed by the committee, management, and our superintendent. Let me give you some examples of our priorities. First, let's discuss the size of our greens. The size of our greens are no longer the same size as they originally were when they were constructed back in 1993. The shrinkage of the green size is normal and a common phenomenon, and our golf course is no exception, especially here in the Naples area. In addition, the greens complexes and bunker designs have changed over the years. Again, this is all due to normal developments in the maintenance practices. Let's go to our golf course superintendent, Ken Kleinedler, out on the course as he explains how the green sizes have changed over the years from the original 25-year-old design.
As we explore the master planning process, we've learned that the greens here at Colliers Reserve have shrunk an average of 25% in the last 25 years. This is common here in Southwest Florida. Luckily, when we upgraded the irrigation system back in 2011, we expanded our greenside sprinkler heads so that during a future greens renovation, we could expand the greens without disrupting the irrigation system. You can see behind me here that the white with green tip stake marks the current sprinkler heads, and the white flags show just how far the greens could be expanded to without disrupting the system.
Thanks, Ken. In addition, it was no surprise to either me or Ken that we need to continue to address all the low elevations throughout the golf course to make sure we have a minimum of a 2-foot elevation above the water table. By doing this, we are going to ensure positive drainage throughout the entire course, no matter what time of the year. While we have done this in especially troublesome places in the past, for example, number 10 approach, our recent wet weather over the past year has only made the need for this to be more important. To illustrate some of our most challenged drainage issues, we're going to go back to Ken, and he's going to pull soil samples on the 13th hole to show the challenges of heavy organic soils in certain areas.
I'm standing here on hole number 13 along the lake, where this area gets very soft. We have heavy rain events, and we see a lot of standing water. We want to show everyone the main cause of that issue. So I've got here a soil probe. I'm going to take a sample of this area. And you can see here we have about 5 inches or so of just pure muck. What we're looking for is more of a native sand, which you can see a little bit at the bottom here. So probably just under this layer we've got a little sand, but everything above it is so mucky, it's not allowing that water to go down, it's not allowing it to percolate. And one of the main solutions for that would be to get this muck out and to replace it with native sand that we have on other areas of the golf course, and even re-slope the area so that water can more efficiently run off rather than sit on these low spots. So we're still here on hole number 13. We just took our sample along the lake. I wanted to take a sample from across the fairway where we have no drainage issues, better playability, better turf quality. So let's see what kind of soil we're dealing with here. All right. Wow, just a much different profile. So what we have here, we have the same organic matter buildup. I'd say in the first inch and a half, you can see that breaks off there. That's where we call this the stain layer. It's actually just the organic staining into the native sand. And really, I mean, we have a good 4.5 inches of quality native sand, which we have across the golf course. Much different than our muck that we had at the low area of the fairway. So much different playability, much better drainage on these areas. So you can just clearly see a total different environment from one area to the next on the same hole.
That was another great example from Ken. Drainage is our major concern as we develop this master plan. In the next segment, we're going to go back out to Ken, and he's going to show us what steps we're going to be taking over this summer to explore and identify concerns with our drainage system.
I'm standing here on hole number 1 to the left of the ladies' tee. This is where all of the drainage water, the drainage from the golf course, comes off into this weir structure here. We have these structures throughout the golf course. All of the golf course irrigation water goes through the system, through the drainage, into these structures, and then makes its way off the golf course. Part of our master drainage plan is to not only inspect the drainage lines on the course, but also inspect these weir structures. So we'll be reaching out to civil engineers to have these structures scoped with a camera, possibly even vacuumed out the debris, if there is any debris blocking the line, and make sure that water is properly flowing through these weir structures and leaving our property the way that it should.
Thanks, Ken. In addition to the fundamental restoration issues of our greens, bunkers, tees, fairway grass, and drainage issues, the golf course architect has shared several design elements on 4 holes which are designed to update and refresh Collier's Reserve in a way that's consistent with its original design. These are all still under review. At the end of the day, Collier's Reserve is a unique property. We have many wetlands, water conservation areas, upland conservation easements. It's a difficult golf course out there. Any further studies need to take place to determine if the design features can expand into these protected areas. This would require a detailed set of plans to be brought to specific governmental agencies for a pre-application review. And at this time, we do not have those set of plans to start this process. This summer, we are going to be replacing the bunker sand. This is not the same as rebuilding our bunkers. However, with that in mind, as part of any master plan, we're going to be testing out several bunker fabric materials to help protect our bunkers from contamination and allow for better drainage when they are rebuilt in the future. As Ken mentioned in the drainage plan, will also be explored further this summer to get a better idea of what improvements are needed around the golf course. The golf course is the crown jewel of Collier's Reserve. Protecting and restoring this asset is the foremost in our minds as we develop this master plan. Management, your superintendent, and the master planning committee are doing their best to produce a plan that will restore, preserve, enhance this outstanding asset for members both current and future. Over the next 2 years, we will be analyzing the architect's recommendations, compiling alternative options, and understanding the permitting requirements and, of course, the financial impact. In 2020, we would like to bring a comprehensive golf course master plan to the membership for education and review. In 2021, we would like to have the plan ready for the membership to officially vote on. Golf course construction could commence the summer of 2022 if all of these fall in the line. Everyone participating in this process wants the best for an outstanding and wonderful club. Now, in the future, we want the best for Collier's Reserve. We appreciate your support throughout this process. Of course, I'm always available to meet and discuss this golf course master plan at any time. Thank you.